email list from people. And what I realized was, well, that's great, but do people know all the ways that they can do that? You know, it's one thing to say build your list, and it's another to say, well, okay, but how do I actually capture people's emails? What you're going to find today is that some of these are pretty simple things. Some of them may be things that you're already doing, so kudos to you. They may be things you know you should be doing. In fact, I know these are going to be things that you know you should be doing, and there may be some new things as well. What I want to challenge you with is a little bit of homework. Both my parents were teachers, and so it's in my blood to assign homework. I would like you, as you go through this, to pick the thing that you're going to add this week, the thing that you're going to add next month. So next month's my birthday month, so I want you to do something in celebration of my birthday. Find something to add to your list, and then something that you're going to, a way that you're going to add people to your list by the end of the year. So that's 3 things out of these 60 things that you're going to incorporate into your business. So let's see which one of these that you think that you might be doing. Oh, I should say, I am the authorized local expert in Arkansas. This is my email and contact information. I will email this all to all of you, so you don't need to take as many notes possibly, and links are hyperactive, so when you get the presentation, you'll be able to click right through it.
And I'm excited to say that Jacqueline is also a professional blogger, Main Street director. She helps small businesses and nonprofits. She's amazing on online and email marketing and content. So I'm so excited to have her here. And Jacqueline, we have people from Rogers, Arkansas, the Fellowship Bible Church, Branson, Missouri, Fenton, Michigan, YMCA. Wow, we have another Rogers, Eureka Springs, Denver, Colorado. And Ozark, Missouri. We got one from Texas. Fantastic. And they said they couldn't see your email address, but you're going to send that with the presentation after the follow-up, correct?
Yes. And can they see this? Can they see it says number 1? Make sure that they can see this presentation.
We see back to business basics is what we see right now. 60 ways to grow your list.
Really?
Yeah. Have you already flipped over?
Yes.
Okay, hold on. Oh, you have. That could be bad. Okay. No wonder we can't see. Yeah, I'm trying to click it for you. Maybe hit escape and then go into presentation mode again.
Okay. Sorry, guys.
Oh, you know what? Okay, I changed. You might have, you know what? So you might have to...
Not do it in presentation?
No.
Can you see that?
I'm going to switch to you again. I'm sorry. Let's see what we can do.
Okay. Sorry for the tech issues, guys.
Okay, now it's showing my screen, I think. Let's try again. We want to switch to you. For some reason, you're not on there. Great. So what I'll do, okay, this is not working very good. Let's see.
Oh, I see you.
Yeah, that's what we don't want to see, right?
Yeah, that's messy, Paige.
Okay, can you send me your, I've got your PowerPoint. Did you change it in any way?
A little bit, but nothing that I can't handle.
Okay, hun. So everybody, I am so sorry. We're going to go in here and we're going to get this going. Presentations. Here we go. We just got to show you that nothing's perfect. Oh, and this will be from, yeah, we'll just delete this. It's not Kelly. Okay, did you change it a lot, hon? I'm sorry.
No, I just deleted some things from the end.
Okay, is everybody good? Can you see it now?
No, I just see your email.
You do?
Yes.
That's not good. Okay, let's try this again. It's because I have 2 screens, so we'll just move this over here. Yay! Now, hopefully. Can you see it now? No.
No.
Oh, goodness gracious. You were a presenter, now you're not a presenter. Isn't this crazy? Yes, I thought we were ready to go. I'm having fun. I'm smiling now. Show my screen. I'm pausing that.
Oh, look. Kelly Flint.
Oh, you see something now?
Yes.
Oh, are we having fun yet? Okay.
We are.
All right. Not for sure.
Look.
Okay. Love it.
So go to number 1 there.
Okay. Are we ready to rock then? So you see my screen. I am so sorry, everybody. Everybody see the screen? You can type yes. I know that we could see, but again, we're not drinking the same coffee you do. All right, Kelly. All right, Larry. Thanks. All right. Rock and roll, Miss Jacqueline.
Okay. All right. Excellent. So I will say I have had to do presentations with a whiteboard when none of the digital worked. So I totally could have done this for you guys, but this will be much better. Thanks, Paige. So the most basic is use a piece of paper and have people sign up. I have to tell you that even I forget to do this at meetings. This is the simplest way. If you have a store or a coffee shop or you run any kind of events, sometimes it's just simpler to have a piece of paper and let people sign up with their email address. Oh, how am I going to go forward?
Hey, and the one thing that I want to say too is always tell them what they're going to get. No one wants to receive more email. So sign up to get email. Woo, that's not too exciting. So sign up to get upcoming events or upcoming volunteer opportunities or 5 new recipes or a monthly email that will give you 5 tips to save for college. So you don't want to just say to receive more email. Set the expectations up for them so they'll get excited about what they're going to receive. Or maybe it's tips on how to make your lawn look better.
Right. The funny thing is that people, if you're in a room, and I had all of you in a room, I would say raise your hand who's tired of getting more email, and most people raise their hand. But the truth of it is, that's how we get most of our information that is relevant to what we're going to be doing. And so she's right. If the email is relevant to the work that you're doing or that they're interested in or something that they want to move forward with, email is a great way to get them. But you have to tell them what they're going to get. Oh, you're going to find out about my upcoming events, or you're going to learn about when the groups meet, or whatever it is for your particular industry. Face-to-face. I know that those that have customer service representatives or clerks or any kind of face-to-face involvement, it can be tricky to train them to ask for their email, but that is also probably one of the easiest ways. If you can get them in the habit of saying, well, could you sign up for our email address? We do monthly promotions. Or sign up for our email address. Give them the why, and then getting that email address isn't quite as difficult. I would probably still, if it's face-to-face, have the customer or client or group member write it out themselves, because email can be tremendously long. And I have seen better transition when I can have to type it in when they've written it themselves. Now, granted, I can't always read their writing, but I know that spelling errors happen less when the customer signs it. But definitely ask for it.
And some of the restaurants will actually do giveaways to the staff, whoever got the most email addresses. Maybe it's for the wait staff, and it can even be service. Again, a service industry. You might just say that we are going green, and we love to help you with, to remind you for your summer air conditioning services that we need to provide as well. So just let them know, and again, reward your staff. Maybe let them know this is how you would ask, and this is the value to the customer. And what we'll do is whoever gets 10 emails within 2 weeks, you're going to get a Starbucks card.
Yeah, those competitions can work really well if they're done in short intervals. You wouldn't want to have a campaign like that maybe last for a year. But if you have a push, if you say, August, September, we're gonna have this contest within our team, that can really motivate people to get the email addresses. But definitely tell them the why, because it's hard to say, excuse me, can you give me your email address? That's hard because they'll be asked, well, why do you need it? So you want to make sure that you're telling them exactly why they're asking. Check your own database. it was interesting to me when I was building my list how many emails that I had in my own address book, not as part of my email list, but just people that I email on a semi-regular basis who were not part of my list. And so I sent an email to them asking them if they would join my list, and I had about an 80% return. So and I would have completely overlooked them because, oh, they didn't sign up in a traditional way, they didn't come to one of my classes. Well, they didn't even know about them because they weren't on my list. So this was a great way to get a quick boost within my own list. And I bet you yourself have lists and addresses and places and people that you have emailed that are not currently on your list. And I would ask them. I just sent one email saying I'd really like to add you. I think that for some of them I did it individually and not as part of some sort of mass email. I said, oh, hey, Bob, we haven't talked in a while. This is the new things that I'm doing. Would you like to be added to my list? And I got, an email back saying, sure, that sounds great. So it might take you a little bit of time, but it definitely is worth it.
And the great thing about again, we're going to refer to constant contact. You're able to bring in lists, like she says, everybody has it on scraps of paper, you have it in a spreadsheet, you have it in Outlook. Again, we can, our support team can help you bring those into constant contact. And the great thing about it, it's in the cloud, so you can get it wherever you can get internet connection. We don't obtain that list, but it is backed up there as well. So it's like a little miniature database or customer relation management system for you that you can search in, hold phone numbers in as well. So let's say you have a list in Outlook, we can bring it in. Gmail, we have an app that will bring that in. QuickBooks, we can bring that in. If you have other databases, we can export any database to an Excel file or what we call a comma separated value file, and we can bring that in as well. So our tech supports can help you bring and collaborate all your lists into one spot, and then also it will be backed up.
Yeah, which is excellent. And I don't know about all of you, but if you go to any conferences and you come home with those stacks of business cards, people you've met, their LinkedIn recently bought Card Munch. So and now I think they have their own proprietary app. You can look in the App Store, but you can take a photo of them, and those can be added into your LinkedIn, which you can also export your LinkedIn database. Bet you didn't know that. So there's lots of places that you're holding information, or you just have stacks of business cards. I know that I have those too. So if you can get those in and ask them to be part of your list, that's a great way to get a boost. Ask your friends and family. I was one of the hesitant ones to ask friends, hey, do you want to be part of my list? But really, once I started asking, people wanted to do that. And I had a client, the same thing. She had to go to a family reunion, and she has a new business, a boutique, and she thought, well, I don't know if they would be interested. But I challenged her and said, I really think it'd be a great idea if you just asked. And she did, and they all wanted to know what she was doing and how they could support her business, and were there ways that they could buy online or other things that they could do if they weren't close to her. And it actually was a really nice icebreaker for her. Oh, I have this email list. She ended up with pulling out the piece of paper and having them write their email addresses on it, and it really wasn't that difficult to ask.
And I just want to make a point. A lot of people go, oh, well, it just takes too long to do all this. You don't have to start with a large quantity. It's about the quality. We had a nonprofit that said she put it off for years, and she was in the Carolinas, and she goes, I wish I wouldn't have done that. She goes, I sent out an email, my first email, and she goes, she did put a forward to a friend. Now, I want you to put a forward to a friend at the top and the bottom, because that way people will, even if they know who you are, they may think of somebody they all run in circles with the same interests, the same concerns for causes, or maybe they want to volunteer. So the nonprofit did an email, her first email, and she sent it out, and guess what happened? She got a $15,000 donation, but it was a donation that wasn't from her list. It was from one of her customers or volunteers or stakeholders of the nonprofit that had forwarded it to a friend. So again, don't hold back just because you have 4 or 5. It will grow. Your friends will help you, and so will your family.
This is for everyone who has physical space. You've seen these. It's a fishbowl or some container, and you ask people to drop their business cards. Usually it's to win something. Usually it gives them an incentive to do that. Again, you might have a sign that says, we send out monthly specials, or we let you know when we're meeting next. The great thing about having them drop their business card is that you do not have to worry about their handwriting, which seems like a small thing, but really after you've done this for years, you find that that can be a barrier. It's frustrating to enter a lot of email addresses and have them not be accurate, so a business card gives you a greater chance. So this is a really easy way, and I don't know how many stores or restaurants or other locations I go to that don't have this very simple tool. This costs nothing. You know, you could give away a $10 gift certificate a month, you know, just draw one, or a free lunch, or whatever it is. And all it's doing is allowing you to capture email for your list.
Hey, it's a great comment. Larry says you've got 60 to go through. Your comments are great, but we probably need to speed it up. So I'm not going to interject. I'm just going to let you go for it, Jacqueline, okay?
Great.
Okay.
Thank you. Over the phone, if you're having a conversation with a customer or supporter, definitely ask them to get for their email address. This one is probably the least used. I mean, it's definitely used when you're calling Verizon about your phone, but it's not used on a one-to-one basis. There's no problem with saying, hey, I'd like to keep up with you. Please send me your email address. Please give me your email address. I get email addresses so quickly this way. Use your sidewalk sign. If anyone has a brick and mortar, you can definitely have this as part of sign up, get discounts. And if you're using Constant Contact, you can even print out a QR code that they can scan, or they also have a text to sign up function, so they can text a code and be signed up on your list. So the sidewalk sign is another place that's great to find to capture people. Small Business Saturday. I don't know how many of you are in small businesses, but this, you know, it's definitely promoted by American Express, but it does serve small business. People are beginning to look for and find small businesses on that particular Saturday. Now, granted, I wish they did that all year long, but if you participate in this and you ask them to join your list, and you make a list that's specific to Small Business Saturday, reminding them about this every year, this is a great way to get people on your list. You can add a form directly to your Facebook page. If you go to my Facebook page, which is Jackie Wolven, it has one of the tabs at the top says Join My Mailing List. Constant Contact has a tool to do that. That's super simple. I get, you know, probably 5% have come from there. You know, it's hard to get people out of Facebook, but that 5% has been worthwhile. I will send to you the instructions on how to do that so that you can walk through it. It is super simple. Tweet it. You can write yourself a note or use Hootsuite to tweet about your email list once a week. I would change up the tweet a little bit, but you could, in Hootsuite, set that up for a year. So you get 52 tweets that you're doing, and it reminds people that you have a list, why they should sign up, what they could get from it, and then set it and go. You can, now the rules change on Facebook, but you can have a little bit of text that says to sign up for your list. It's great that people stay in Facebook and that they visit your page, but you can market to them directly into their inbox. And so having them get to your list is more effective marketing. It's targeted instead of broad. And so you can have, in your picture, you can change your cover photo to have a little bit of verbiage that says, join our email list. You can buy a Facebook ad that directs them directly to your email list sign-up page. This I have done for 2 clients, and they grew their list. They doubled it. We did a very small spend. I did $75 for one, $45 for another. The link went directly to their email list because that's what we were trying to do. We offered a free gift if they signed up, so there was an incentive, but that is an effective use of using Facebook ads. It gets you something besides just likes on your page. I don't know how many of you have a YouTube channel, but you can talk about your emails in a video and tell people where to sign up. If you have an information channel, it could be just at the end of it, sign up for my list. You can even have a link in your video that goes directly to your sign-up page. Foursquare is something that I sort of discounted years ago, and then it's resurfacing as sort of an offers tool. So if you check in somewhere, they're offering a discount, and so it's sort of rebranding itself. Well, it also will allow you to post alerts to people in your area, and you can share your link directly to your sign-up form. This is one I'm sort of playing with locally, and I'll be interested to see if it gets much boost. But I no longer can discount Foursquare, so it is another place for you to add a link to your list.
Sorry, Larry had asked, and it's a great question, is Small Business Saturday always annually on a set date? And it is. Small Business Saturday is on a Saturday, which means it's in November. Sorry. It's in November, and it's the day after Black Friday. So
right.
This year is November 29th.
Right. And the prep for it, just to give so that you know, if you search Small Business Saturday, there's a lot of signs you can get and information and visuals for your social media and posters for your brick and mortar. Definitely go out and search Small Business Saturday. It's definitely the way to sort of counteract the big box Black Friday thing. So it's a great movement for the small business. You can join a Google Plus community where you share good information, and you can also share your latest email. The great thing about Constant Contact is that your emails can actually become web pages that have links, so you can share your latest email with the information that you've sent out to your, not just Google Plus, but you can pretty much share that anywhere. But this is another very specific way to join your list. You can host a tweet chat. I did a little bit of research on tweet chats, and there are hundreds, probably thousands of tweet chats. So usually they're set up so they run weekly or monthly, but you could just set one up that you were going to do a tweet chat on, let's say if you were a dentist, it would be on oral care, or if you were a church, you were going to do something that was specific to your ministry. And on there, you can have allow people to grow your list. If you're interested in tweet chats, just I'll connect with you, and I can send you something specific about how you can run a tweet chat. Use Vine. I don't know if Vine still exists, and you can create a 6-second or less video and embed that in Facebook and Twitter and on your blog about your list and why they would want to do it. It's just another fun way to show your email list. You can add a sign-up link to all your social bios. I see most people sending people directly to their website, which is great, but if you're trying to have a push to try to connect people directly to sign up, you can have the link that's your link for your sign-up page. And you can also, if your sign-up page link is too long, because sometimes it is, you can use a service called bit.ly, bit.ly, to create smaller links that you can track. That helps because sometimes those URLs are just too long. That matters in things like Instagram where you can't click. Or you're just trying to create something, you can customize them, which is really a nice thing, a nice feature. You can sample your content on Pinterest. The nice thing about that is that because your emails and Constant Contact become web pages, basically, you can then make them pinnable and pin them directly to a board or two. This isn't used very frequently at all, I have to say. I see people creating great email content and then not pinning it, and they're missing out because it sends them directly to your email, which would allow them to sign up for that as well. So this, you could be above everyone else on Pinterest getting your list out. This is an interesting piece. I'm going to work with a couple clients to see if we can try to move some numbers using this. Definitely add a sign-up form to your website. This is a no-brainer. Constant Contact gives you code that's really simple to add to almost, I mean, if you can't do it, your web developer can do it. You definitely want a page where they can sign up on your list. I even recommend actually that it's at the top of your list, your top of your page, that they can sign up, and then that is reflected throughout the site because you never know where you're going to get them. If they have to go try to find how to get on your email list, they might not do that. Create reasons. This is sort of what Paige was saying. You want to ask, you can ask your current clients or your current list people why they get your list and what they like about it. I did a small survey of why people liked my blog. That was something I was asking, like, what do you want me to write about? What's interesting to you? I didn't ask everybody. I just asked people who I respect or who I'm interested in their comments. I think there were about 35, and I got some pretty interesting feedback. And then it allowed me to write more about those, showcase those things, and to create a benefits page of what you're going to see when I send it out.
Hey, Jacqueline. So we have a question about Pinterest, and should you create a company Pinterest page or just put it on your personal?
Yeah, so yeah, in theory you want to create a company Pinterest page because you can get analytics. I don't think they're great yet, but that's okay. They're pushing everyone to go to the company page. I know that a lot of people have gotten emails saying, hey, it's time for you to move from personal to a company page. But here's the thing. People also do business with people. So I have no trouble putting something on a company page or putting it on my personal page. People buy directly from people. So you can, in theory, you could do both. Keep your sign-up form short. I went to a website the other day. This is why this is relevant. And I had to click through a ton of stuff. And I had no idea what I just wanted. I think I just wanted like sale information, which I thought the email was going to be about. But they wanted to have all this information about who I was and where I was, and that's great. I understand they're filling up their database, but I didn't fill out the form. When you ask too much personal information, that's a turnoff for people. Now, if you have a birthday club and you want to highlight that, definitely ask people for the month and date of their birthday. If you are doing things in different locations and you want to figure out where you want to speak next, you might have a specific reason why you're asking for the city and state. But if you don't have specific reasons for that, it can be a real turnoff for people. I really just want to put maybe my first name and last name and my email address. So keep it short if you can.
And just a heads up, so Constant Contact will collect that information. So when you put the Join My Mailing link on your website, you also get to create a form that asks, what do you want from them? So we always say first name is good to make your emails personalized. You might want to ask for their company, maybe their zip code or city and state, but you probably don't want to ask the color of their eyes, how many kids, again, because they will jump off. But again, this is something that you can set up to determine how you're going to segment your list.
Right, and you can always collect more information later with surveys and forms. So if it comes down the road that you really want to get more information, people will give it to you once they trust you. But at that very initial moment, they may not trust you. Add it to your blog. I have in my sort of signature line at the end of my blog is something like, I send out interesting stuff sometimes. I don't know, I think it says something like that. So if you want good stuff in your mailbox, click here to join my list. I just sort of copy and paste that and I add that to the bottom. And I do this for other clients probably more eloquently than I do for myself. That says things like, you know, hey, you enjoyed reading this, and we send relevant information on when we have classes or this or that or special offers or, you know, new products, join our list. Because it's another way, if they didn't see all the sign-up boxes everywhere else on the site, which is possible, or they're reading your blog through a blog reader. They're reading it through Feedly or they're reading it through Blog Lovin'. They're not seeing your site at all. And so having that text at the bottom of the blog post allows them to go, oh, they have a list. Okay, so that's another place. You can guest blog on other people's sites, and then there's two things this can help you with. You can point that, so you have a whole new audience that you're writing for, and you can have a link to sign up for your email list on the guest blog post that you did. Or in some cases, I've had people share their lists, allow me to send an email to their list, or at least my blog post to their list. So it gets a whole new audience. And then a section of those join your list. It's a great opportunity. If you know people who are blogging, it's okay to look at their blog and say, oh, I'm a good fit for that. Well, my company works in that, or they're writing about something that I have an opinion on, whatever it is. It's a great opportunity for you to say, hey, do you accept guest posts? I'd really like to do one. And they'll tell you what that means or what that is, or say, I don't know what you're talking about, and or accept you. You can comment on blog posts. First of all, I have to tell you, people love it if you comment on blog posts. They feel like, oh, they're special. So if you do that, you win some points just for commenting. But you can also have the link, instead of linking directly back to your site, it can link to your join page or to wherever your form is to sign up for your list, saying, and that allows you to drive people directly to your email list. You can test different calls to action. So this is basically called A and B. In old school marketing, we used to do two kinds of postcards. We would send postcard A to one group on a list and postcard B to another group. And then we would see which one had the most traction. It's the same thing with email. So you can send, let's say your list is 1,000 people. You can send one with a call to action, 500 get one call to action, 500 get another call to action, and you can see how your audience responds. One of those call to actions could be forward to a friend, or invite someone else to the list, or somehow you word that in so that you're growing your list. And you can see if there's a difference in which one works better. You can, in Constant Contact, which is a very cool thing, they use form stack, which makes me feel like a coding pro when I'm really not, but you can collect email addresses when people are making a purchase. So let's say they're buying a product or signing up for a class or whatever it is they're doing. You can create a form in Constant Contact that's both to collect the payment and also it collects the email address. It's pretty smart stuff and it's simple. I was surprised that I really have no coding background. That's not my background, and I was able to create forms for clients really quickly. This is an exceptional tool within the Constant Contact world. This is, I think that this should be like my 2015 call to action for my Main Street work. Most small businesses, the study showed that there were 49% of small businesses have never updated their online listings. I'm talking about their Google listing, their Yelp listing, their TripAdvisor listing, you know, wherever it is that someone else has captured your information, that information could be incorrect, your hours could be incorrect, your address could be incorrect, just who knows. So 49% of small businesses nationwide have not updated that information. So I probably will challenge people to do this, but for you, go look and see, and you can put a link to join your email list. Plus, you should know what's out there about you. Are we going forward? If you have a podcast, you can have people sign up for your newsletter. I listen to a number of podcasts, and I have signed up for emails because of their podcast. If you, you may not know this, but also I think Constant Contact has a podcast. And so you might, when I send this, that's a clickable link, and you'll be able to go out and see it. But this is a great way to get people, if they are committed enough to listen to your online radio show, which is basically what a podcast is, they might want to be on your email list.
Hey, Jacqueline, we have another question, and this is a great question. Email is permission-based. A lot of people will ask me, can I just buy a list? And do you want to go through that with them a little bit too? And
oh, sure. Please don't buy a list ever. Well, let me preface that. Buy the mailing route and do a postcard to a specific area that you're doing business. I work with a lot of realtors, and so we will do that. They want to get new homes, and so they use the U.S. Postal Service Every Door Direct, and they buy a postcard list, right? So that's a list that is going to go to every customer in that mailing route, and that is an acceptable list. Then I know that there are people who sell lists. I've definitely had clients want me to research buying lists, email and mailing, now just email. And I have to tell you that first of all, it's not acceptable in any of the email platforms. MailChimp, Constant Contact, Emma, none of those, because they're all required to be permission-based. That means that somebody said, yes, I want to be on your list. If you're buying a list, they didn't say yes to that. And nothing irritates a customer more than having their email sold. So really think about that before you go and buy a list. And to be honest, for a small business, it's just not worth it. It's just not. And in fact, I like to have people on their email list or in an email say, we never buy or sell or share our list. You know, I run a Main Street program. We have 98 small businesses in my downtown district. I have people ask me weekly if I will give them that list, and the answer is no. Those were given directly to my organization, and unfortunately I will not give, sell, or let someone use my list because they trust me. An email list, when someone says, yes, you can have my email, there's a modicum of trust there. And when you give it to someone else, or you sell it to someone else, or someone has sold it, that trust is lost, and that sort of ruins it for everybody. But the big deal is none of the email platforms will allow you to use bot lists. Did I cover that?
No.
So no.
I think it's very good. And if you get an email from somebody you don't know, then you get a little curious, and most generally you will mark it as a spam. So I've had so many people
Right.
spending $5,000 on lists that aren't up to date, and they never get response because no one
Oh,
knows who
that's
they
the
are.
other thing. Yeah, Paige is right. I have never had a client purchase a list that has been accurate or up to date. So really, it's not worth your money. That money you were going to spend, I can help you spend in many, many other ways that are more effective. So yes, please don't purchase lists. Come on, I have 15 minutes to get through 30. Let's go, Paige. You can do online surveys. The great thing about Constant Contact is they have online surveys, but you can also use, and I use, oh gosh, now it's just completely gone out of my head. What do I use? SurveyMonkey. I will do online surveys asking different things that I want answered. People love to answer questions, especially if they think they're going to get something out of it, and I will ask for their email that way.
You probably use Constant Contact Survey, don't you?
Well, I've used both. Yeah, I was
Okay.
going to say I use Constant Contact Survey. I've used, with some clients require SurveyMonkey, so I've used SurveyMonkey. I think there's another one that I've used. There's a lot of tools out there for that, which is great. You can promote, this is the thing about email, isn't just email. You can allow your email, there's a button that you click that says make it a web page and it becomes archived, and you can promote that older information. If you're writing true information that can be used again and again and again, you can resend those links via your blog or website or social media, which is great. It becomes not just a tool for, oh, I sent that out and I never get to use it again. It's like, oh, no, that's relevant, and I can continue to send people to that email just by using that online email, that online address, URL. You can put a sign-up link in your newsletter, and what's so great about that is that, you know, if you're doing you never know how people are going to find them. People forward me emails all the time, hey, I thought you'd be interested in this, and if there's no way for me to easily sign up for that particular email, I'm a little frustrated. So every once in a while, I don't do it all the time, but every once in a while, I'll put a sign-up form in my email address, in my email, so that if it does get forwarded, someone else can sign up really easily. People do not like to hunt for things, so make it as easy as possible for them. You can add social share buttons to your email so that people can immediately send it to Facebook or Twitter or LinkedIn or Google+. They can like it, and that lets people know, and it directs them directly to the email URL that you sent. Definitely use forward to a friend, and Paige is right, both at the top and at the bottom. It allows you to say, hey, I liked a client to say, or a customer to say, I like this, I thought you would like it too. This is really good for services, sale products, information products, things relevant in a community. I don't know how many times I send something to someone else. Oh, that reminded me of somebody, I'm going to send it to someone. And if there's not a forward to a friend, I may not do it at all. In the signature of your own email, so your regular, everyday Outlook or Mail or whatever you're using, or Gmail, at the bottom, sign up for my email list. You can have a link right to it, join my email list. That's a great way to get more exposure that you actually have an email list. You probably, if you're like me, you send hundreds of emails a week. This is a great way to get people to join your list.
A free billboard that's on Gmail, Yahoo, Outlook, whatever you use, you can put that in there, link them up to your website, your events, and also your social. And don't forget your email.
This is, you can use any tool to add text to a photo. PicMonkey is free. You can put text over images. And if you're going to share your images on Facebook or Twitter, that's a great way to say, you know, join our mailing list. We offer this or we offer that. Just adding a little bit of text. The thing about, I should say that I like to have goals. I'm pretty goal-oriented, so I will give myself goals of, I want to gain, 50 new people on the email list this quarter, or 100 people, or for a client we want to do 1,000 a quarter, depending on the size of their business. And so joining the email list relevant in all of the marketing that we do keeps it top of mind. Trust me, I know the joining the email list thing goes to the bottom of the to-do pile. So if I make a goal and then I remember to keep that relevant in all of the marketing I'm doing, this is just one simple way, is to add some text to a photo and share it on Facebook. With a link and a comment, here's the link. There is an app, Quick View app from Constant Contact, so you can enter new emails on the go, which is great if you're at a conference. So if you're a Constant Contact user, you can download this app. Someone gives you their email, you can enter it immediately, as opposed to sitting at your desk with that stack of business cards. You can use text to join. This is excellent. So I like this tool probably the most, and I will send this out to you on how to do it. You can text they text, just like give $10 to the United Way or whatever, it's the same thing. Text this code to this number, and then they immediately join your email list. There's nothing simpler. And even more so than QR codes, which I think is coming up, this is probably more relevant. People know how to do this much easier than scanning anything.
And again, Jacqueline will send the steps, but also you can call our 1-866 number. Just go to constantcontact.com. We have a number at the top that you can call and ask our coaches to help you. They'll show you where it's at. We can generate a QR code or a text to join. Again, you text a code. It asks you for their first name. They type in their first name. It asks for their email, types in their email, and it goes right into the Constant Contact database. Same way with the QR code.
Yeah, and this you can use on signs and point of sale. It's so simple for people. So here's the QR code. The thing about QR codes is that not everyone has that ability or understands it, and they're fading out a bit. I definitely would, if I were to do, say, one or the other, I would choose the text to join before I would do the QR code. There's an app. You can use the iPad directly in store or at an event. You can set it up and people can enter it themselves, which is excellent, because if you're getting their information directly into your database, that makes it even easier. And you don't have to try to read their handwriting. This is old school, but even in your brochures and flyers and pamphlets, make sure that you let them know that you have an email that you send out on a regular basis, and then it has more up-to-date information. Once you print something, it's sort of dead, and so if changes happen, that printed material might not be completely up-to-date. So it's good to have the information about how to join your email list on your printed material. I have had a client use this effectively. They ran a small ad in a local paper asking people to join their list, and if they joined their list, they entered some contest. So they grew their list by 72 people running that one ad. So this was a very interesting way that you can still continue to use regular marketing materials, because they haven't gone away, and to see if the newspaper ad was effective. That was the other piece of it. Is it worth buying if they're going to do something with it? And so they did. So this is one way you could get people to join your list. On your business cards, this is saying to use a QR code. I would do the text to join here probably, and that would allow them to join your list immediately. Add it to your menu if you're a restaurant. I don't know if we have any restaurants online, but you can definitely have that in your menu saying text to join, or if you don't want to reprint your menus, just do a little tabletop display saying we offer monthly specials, or whatever it is you want to offer via email right on the table. Or it actually could also be printed directly on the receipt, by the way. The text to join could be, I don't know how many of you have been in line and they said, fill out this survey to win $1,000 or whatever it is. Really, they're just trying to gather your information, and that's usually directly on the receipt. You have that capability as well if you work with your the company that you're working with to do your point of sale. On your shipping boxes, If you ship out things to customers, this is great. This will allow you to have that text to join or your QR code. You could have that as a stamp, or you could have that as a sticker that goes directly on each of your boxes that go out. Event registration. I think that most people ask for email addresses, but you would be surprised. If you are doing events, even if you're just doing small meetings, definitely ask for their email address when they register. This allows you, if they were interested enough to sign up, even if they didn't show up, that means that they had a level of interest. So definitely capture their email address. And at the event, again, paper or the text to join or a QR code. Be a sponsor. A lot of people ask me, is there any value to being a sponsor at an event? And usually it's a little cost prohibitive. But if they have a low-level sponsorship that allows you to A, get their email list, B, introduce your business, or get your information out to their attendees, it might be worthwhile. Speak. This is a great way to get people on your list. People like to hear from people in the community that are actually doing it. I have to say that it's great that people like me who are somewhat experts come out and talk, but people also like to talk to people who are actually working in the field. So if you're running a school, or you're running an office, or you have any particular thing that you're an expert at, you can book a speaking engagement. If you're interested in this, you can email me and I can give you some tips on how you can book speaking engagements too. Use table tents. That's what I was saying for restaurants or events. Especially for events, this gets lost, I think, that people don't realize that, yeah, you get all this material or you get these packets. You know, people aren't going through their packets. They're listening to speakers. But if there was a table tent that said, join our lists, you know, text to join, or here's the QR code, or even here's the URL, they have a greater chance of getting people to join their list. And this is all sizes of meetings. This is for meetings with, you know, 12 people or meetings with 1,200 people. In-store raffles. People love to win stuff, and they will give you their information to win stuff. It's surprising to me. And so you can raffle off just about anything. You could do a year's worth of toothpaste if you were a dental office, or you could do a free class if you were offering classes. If you know, it doesn't matter. People want to win. So if you offer a prize, they will give you their email address. You can offer Facebook sweepstakes. There's a social campaign in Constant Contact that allows that. Super simple. I do this for a client every month, and we gain 50 to 100 email lists by running this Facebook sweepstakes. People, again, like to win stuff, and so that's a very simple way to allow people to join your list. Now, there's a caveat that I realize that Facebook is changing a little bit, and so I will be doing a little bit more research on what they're allowing at this time. But you can always run a contest on Facebook to have people join your list. Loyalty programs do not have to be difficult. They can seriously be a business card that are really this simple, and that to get it, they have to give you their email. This is a very simple thing to do. Come to so many meetings, take so many classes, you know, go to the dentist 3 times a year, or, you know, whatever it is. You can do a loyalty program, and if they're going to get something free, they will do it. Plus, you'll get more business. Birthday clubs. These work for all ages. It's interesting to me that most birthday clubs are run for children. I remember when my daughter was young, she was in the Andronico's grocery store birthday club, and I think, if I'm right, I think that Baskin-Robbins had one. I'm betting Chuck E. Cheese has one. I don't really know, but I think they do. And so often for children, but I will tell you that you can use this for any age, and you can grow your list by having birthday promotions. The caveat for me is, don't make me tell you the year I was born. Just ask for the month and the date, and you will get more responses that way. And if I get some special deal in the month that my birthday's in, that's a great feeling. And even if I don't do it, I will think about you, which is the first step towards buying anything. You can run local deals with any of the, Groupon or any of those that also, they will give you everything to join your list. So if you run a Groupon or any of those programs, they also give you the emails to everyone who bought your discounted item. This is really effective for events that aren't selling well or products that you want to move quickly. Those still work in, it's not so great for people who are trying to sell sandwiches because they get inundated. When someone does redeem an offer, you can ask them to join your list. So that's a very simple way to get people. It's that ask. And people get nervous about it, but if you spend just a little bit of time asking what they're going to get if they join the list, and it's pretty rote, and you're able to just say it, then that makes that a million times easier. So part of your homework, really, maybe the number one thing is, what do they get from my list, and what would I tell them in 2 sentences? You can use a coupon on Facebook, and if they like it, they can, if they redeem that offer, you can add them to your list. It's a pretty simple thing. There's offers on Facebook, and in fact, I think you can even have them join the list immediately. I use offers for events all the time on Facebook. It's a great way to get people on my list. You can offer content. So this is huge. This is the what can I download today? And you probably have content you don't even know you have. If you've written anything that you can compile into a PDF that they can then download, then you have something to give away. And here it is. This is the incentive for the employees. Like I said, I wouldn't do this for the whole year, but I would do this as a push for a quarter or a month where you had a contest. I believe in competition, but it loses its effectiveness. But this allows you to easily get your employees ramped up. Plus, you have to articulate what it is that someone is getting when they sign up. So if your first step is to figure out what they get when they sign up for your list, that's one. And then second, you then are able to train your employees with that information. That is the step 2. I think that's it. Wow, okay. Whew. That's an hour.
Oh my gosh. Everybody give her a virtual applause. That is this is the first, we just released this PowerPoint slide, so I cannot tell you how wonderful you did. Great job. And you guys, we'd like to hear from you too. When you saw 60, did you go, oh my gosh, how much longer? We just want to hear your feedback on what you thought. Was it informational? Again, we will send you information on the QR, text to join, and of course you can call our customer coaches too at the 1-866 number I typed below. So 1-866-289-2101. But we will follow up with the presentation. Jacqueline, wow, go ahead. I want you to summarize, but I just want to let you know that I don't know how you did it, but fantastic.
Well, I will say that, when you're making your marketing goals, and, not every small business does this, but if you're even thinking about making marketing goals, your list are your leads. These are the people who have some interest in what you're selling or what you're offering or what you're doing. And that's gold. I think that often people say, oh, yeah, my email list, and they discount that. But the truth of it is that those are the people who've already said, well, maybe. They have one foot in. So gathering people who get one foot into your door is huge. So I would challenge you that if you haven't made 2014 the year of growing your list, definitely work on it this last quarter, and then maybe 2015 becomes the year of the list for you. And you will implement as many strategies as you can to get people into your email list. I'm here if you need me, if you need to bounce back an idea or you have a question. I will send out the presentation plus the tools on how to do that text to join, which is so fabulous. It has my contact information, and if you have any other questions, I'm happy to answer them. I appreciate the time. I know an hour on a Wednesday can be tough, so thanks, and you guys have a great day.
We do have a couple questions, so if you want to stay aboard, that's fine, and ask us questions. We'd appreciate that as well, and thanks for your time. The one question was Larry. He said, when you collect an email, don't you need to have at least an implied permission to add them to the list?
Well, you are getting the implied permission. Every way that I've showed you is permission-based. That they have in theory said yes because they've signed up. They've either signed up themselves or they were asked and they gave it to you, or they did text to join, so they knowingly gave it to you. So yes, you're right. The only one that didn't have that is if you're asking your taking from your own database of email addresses. So the way that I handle that, instead of just adding them to my list, which would be rude, is to send an email that's separate, not in an email platform, not in Constant Contact, not in any other email platform, but just in my mail program, and say, hey, I have this email list. I think you might be interested. I'd love you to join it. Here's the link, or reply back and I'll set you up myself. And that's how I handle that. So I am getting their permission. Yeah, I would never just add people to my list.
And I think a lot of people, when they go to chambers or networking groups, they'll just take the cards and just add them to a list. And again, people, you kind of need to let them know if you're talking about a subject and they're talking about remodeling their home, you might say, hey, by the way, I have a, email marketing that goes out monthly about email tips on how to remodel your house, or saving you money, or quick ways to fix things. So again, yeah, be very sensitive. You don't like to be put on a list unless you're asked. So very cool, very good tip. What is considered a good open rate?
Okay, I laugh because here's my tip to make you all feel better. Don't get hung up on the numbers, okay? That's just with everything. Don't get hung up on how many people visit your website, how many people open your email, how many people comment on your blog. Don't get hung up on the numbers. Get hung up on doing quality work, okay? So that's first and foremost. And here's the truth of it. In Constant Contact, and I think almost every other email platform, you can select an industry. So let's say you're a nonprofit. You can select an industry, and it will tell you where your email rates within other email. So that's great. So if you are a marketing company and you're sending out an email, it'll tell you how many people are opening it in the industry average for that, which is super. But the truth of it is probably, I'm getting about 20 to 47% depending on the client. And I think all of that is a win. If I'm getting business, if they're opening it, but I'm not actually getting a phone call or someone in a door or someone to purchase the product online, it doesn't really matter. So it's not about how many, it's about who actually goes towards the call to action. So care more about that. Care more about how many people are actually attending your meetings or making an appointment or signing up for the class, not how many are opening the email. Does that make sense?
But an average is, we think 20% is excellent, is what we say.
Yeah.
And things that you have to consider is in order to get that open rate up, there's things that you can do. We only count it not if they're looking at their Outlook in the reading pane. We can't catch their eyeballs looking at it. So we have to entice them by either they have to double click to open the email, they have to click on a link, or they have to download a graphic. So when you put pictures or YouTube or videos or links in there, that's going to help increase your open rate, because people aren't just reading, they have to interact. And once they click one of those things, link, YouTube video, or also download a graphic or double click to open it, that is called an open rate. And so yes, you're right. Looking at numbers kind of helps you to determine on if it's a good day to send it, if it was a good subject line. So whenever you get a higher open rate, take a look at what you did and repeat that again. So was it the time that you sent it? Was it the subject line that you did? So it's nice to look at the numbers. If they increase, yay. If they decrease, maybe you did something that you don't want to do again. So maybe it's a bad day or bad time.
Yeah, you can, and that's the great thing about using an email platform, is that you can see when people open it. You can tell exactly which links they're clicking on. It's not guesswork. I use email to send to the press, so I do all my PR through Constant Contact. And so I know which reporters and editors are opening it, which links they've clicked. I know those things as opposed to guessing about those things. So really I care more about the quality that people are clicking on the things that are of interest to them. There's never going to be 100% email rate. Not everyone is going to open your email. It's just not going to happen. So if 20% is considered, a good average, praise that. If that's not happening for you, maybe we need to rethink what you're doing.
And just like changing the day, and so those are things that we can do, are changing the time, and spicing up your subject line is huge. So again, if you put numbers in your subject line, it tends to help. 5 to 8 words, less is best in your subject line, and always, if it's a call to action, or make it urgent, or something that's of value to your customer. So not just weekly update. So the time, the day, the subject line, and who it's from is huge. So I had a lady that only had 15% open rate. She changed it to 45% because she was sending the email and no one knew her, but they knew the owner of the company. So just by switching who it was from, switching it from her as an operation manager to the business owner, that increased their open rate by 3 times.
Yeah, it can be really simple things like that, and that's the great thing about working with a provider. We can go in and look at what you're doing and suggest some changes that you can make.
So if there's any more questions, go ahead, and I just want to let you know we are going to follow up with the presentation, the recording, and in front of you is an open rate standard for different industries as well, and then we'll make sure that we follow up with the steps on how to do a QR and text to join. And I just want to tell you, Jacqueline, you are marvelous. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you, Paige. I appreciate it. My next webinar is about telling your story, using PR to share your story even when nothing new is happening. That's September 22nd. And if you have a topic that you are really interested in having me talk about, or something that you feel like really needs to help your business grow, or something that you're struggling with, send me an email. It's jacquelinewolven@gmail.com. You can reply back to the email that I'm going to send you, and I'm happy to look at it and add it to my webinar schedule. So you're my best resource for what's needed in the business community. So if you need it, other people need it, and I appreciate your time.
And if you need to get started with Constant Contact, Jacqueline can help you too as well. There's a 60-day free trial that you can try, and she'll help. Again, we have getting started webinars too as well. So just let her know. She's there to help. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.